let's go do a little bit of review, right? So when we're adding and subtracting, and the denominators, right? Denominator, that's that. And then this is the numerator. Okay, so when they're the same, it's pretty easy, right? So the denominator stays the same. And on top we do 7 minus 5. That's just 2. Okay. This one, they're not the same, so we have to change. So let's look at 5 and let's look at 4. So we have to find the common multiple. So we go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. So we're trying to see if there's a common multiple, right? So, and there is. 20 is common to both 4 and 20. So we're going to change our denominators. Instead of 5, we're going to find an equivalent fraction. We're using the denominator of 20 for both of them. So if you think about it, let me put it over here. Here's 3/5. How did it become 20? What do we multiply 5 times to get to 20? Times 4, right? So if you look here, 1, 2, 3, 4. So here's times 4. So on the top, I'm going to do times 4, just the same. So 3 times 4 is 12. So 3 times 4, this is 12. Now, we're looking at the 1/4. 1/4. I'm going to change that to a 20, right? The 1/4. I'm going to change that to a 20. So what's the equivalent fraction of 1/4? Using 20 as a denominator. So 4 times what is 20? It's times 5. So we check here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 4 times 5, and on top, we also multiply times 5, and we get 5 over 20. So 1/4 is times 5. Times 5, so 1/20. Now we can add our fractions. Denominator stays the same, and 12 plus 5 is 17. We're subtracting. We can change this to an addition if you like. -4/9 plus, right? That changes, and this is going to be the reciprocal, not reciprocal, the opposite. -1/6. Can we add these? No, so we have to find a common multiple. Ugh. We get 6, 12, 18, 24, 9, 18. Oops, there's a common multiple right here. I'm going to change both fractions. Use denominator of 18. How did the 9 become 18 times 1 times 2, right? So 9 times 2 is 18. So on top, we get 4 times 2, and 4 times 2 is 8, but it's -8. How did the 6 become 18? 6 times 1, 6 times 2, 6 times 3. So we multiply the 6 times 3. And on top, I'm going to multiply by 3 the same. -1 times 3 is -3. Combine like terms. Combine like terms. The denominator of 18 stays the same. And on top, we're going to add -8 plus -3. So -8 plus -3. Are they friends? No. Yes, they are. Right? Yes, they are. Sorry. So this is going to be -11. So -11. And that's my final answer. Let's do these two. So now this one, again, we need to find common denominator. So let's do this. So here we're going to put this over 1. Don't forget that, right? Because 2/1 is just 2. So now we can find a common denominator. One times 1, 1 times 2, 1 times 3, 1 times 4, 1 times 5, and etc. 4 times 1, 4 times 2, and we can stop. Look, there's a 4 here and a 4 here. So that's the multiple we're going to use. So I'm going to change that. Change that. This is already a 4, so 4 times 1 is 4, and then 3 times 1 is 3. So no changes necessary. But the 1, how did the 1 become a 4? 1 times what? 1 times 1 times 2 times 3 times 4 is times 4. So on the top is times 4 too. 2 times 4 is 8. Now we can subtract. The denominator stays the same, and 8 minus 3 is 5. We can change this answer to an improper fraction. So we're going to change 5 over 4. So let's think about it. We have 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many groups can we make of 4? We can make one group. That's the same as 1. How many left over? 1 over 4. If you wanted to divide, uh-oh. Battery's charged. Now, if you want to divide, another way of doing this, right, is if you take the 5 and you divide it by 4. 4 goes into 5 one time. 4 times 1 is 4. Subtract, you get 1 left over. So again, this is your 1. How many left over? 1, and denominator of 4. Let's do the second one here. Again, just reviewing. We're going to start negative 3 over 7, and we're going to write the 9, the whole number 9, as 9 over 1. We can change that to an addition. Okay, so now we have to find a common denominator, and what we're going to use, let's find out. We have 7, and we have 1. 7 times 1 is 7, 7 times 2 times 3. Let's do the 1. 1 times 1 times 2 times 3 times 4 times 5 times 6 times 7. And here is our common denominator, common multiple that they both share. So change this to 7. Change this to 7. This one is already a 7, right? So 7 times 1 is 7, and then multiply times 1. We get exactly the same thing. But here, 1 times 1 is 7. 7 times 1 times 2 times 3 times 4 times 5 times 6 times 7. So this is times 7. On top is going to be times 7. So negative 9 times 7 is negative 63. So here is our equivalent fraction, right? To negative 9 over 1. Now, we can add. It's the bottom is 7, and on the top is negative 3. Negative 3 plus negative 63. Are they friends? Yeah. So we get negative 66. So we can divide negative 66 divided by 7, and I'm going to just do that over here. So we got 66, and we got divided by 7. 7 goes into 6? No, goes into 66 9 times, which is 63. Subtract 3 left over. So negative 66 over 67 is 9, that number 9 over here. How many left over? 3 left over 7. But don't forget, all that is negative. So now you can go ahead and do what we want to do today, which is add and subtract whole mixed fractions. So the first thing we want to do is change. So we're going to change. I'm going to change this guy too. I'm going to change them to proper fractions. 5 times 8 is 40, plus 3, 43 over 8. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5 over 2. So this is what we're going to do. So this we're going to change to 5 over 2. This we're going to change to 43 over 8. Now, can we subtract? No, we can't subtract, so we're going to find a common multiple. So let's do that over here. 2, 4, 6, 8. And then here, just 8. And we can stop. We're going to use 8 here. I'm going to use 8 over here. So how did a 2 become an 8? 2 times 1, 2 times 2, 2 times 3, 2 times 4. So I'm going to put a 4 over here. And multiply the top by 4. And 5 times 4 is 20. 8 times 1, right? So this is 8 times 1 is 8. And 43 times 1 is 43. So that doesn't change. You want to change this to an addition problem, if you like. 20 over 8 plus, and the opposite of 43 over 8, negative 43 over 8. Let me put that on top here. Oops. Oops. sorry. Negative 43 over 8. So our answer is going to be something over 8. And 20 plus negative 43, who wins? The negative, right? So we're going to get negative. And then we're going to do 43 minus 20. And that's going to give us 23. We're going to then change this to an improper fraction. So let me erase some things over here. We're going to divide 23 divided by 8. Can 8 go into 2? No. Can 8 go into 3? Yes. 2 times, which is 16. Subtract 13 minus 6 is 7. So there's a little remainder, and we got so negative 23 is over 8 is negative 2. How many left over? 7 over 8. Again, first thing we want to do is change this to an improper fraction. Times and plus. 5 times 6 is 30, plus 3 is 33 over 5. So this is negative 33 over 5. Plus, and then I'm going to change negative 2, 1, and 6. 6 times 2 is negative 12. Sorry, 6 times 2 is 12, plus 1 is 13. So negative 13 over 6. Okay. Can we add them? No, we're going to find a common denominator. So the common denominator is going to be a common multiple. So 5 times 1, 5 times 2. Let's go through the times table. 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. 6 is 6, 12, 18, 24, 30. Oops. We can use 30. So it's going to be over 30. 30. So now let's look at 5. 5 times what is 30? 5 times 1 times 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is times 6. Now multiply the top times 6. 33 times 6 is 196 negative. Oops, sorry, 198. And then here, 6 times what is 30? 6 times 1 times 2 times 3 times 4 times 5, 6 times 5. And then on top times 5, and that's going to give us 65. Negative 65. We can add. The bottom's going to be 30, and the top's going to be negative. And negative 198 plus negative 65, they're friends, so it's going to give me negative 263. We're going to divide now, and I'm going to divide over here. 263 divided by 30. It's going to be 8 times. I'm going to stop right here. So 30 goes into 263 8 times, but negative, don't forget the negative. 23 left over 30. Last one. Again, let's change this to a improper. Seven times 2 is 14, plus 3 is 17 over 7. So this is going to be negative 17 over 7. This is going to be 9. 3 times 9 is 27, plus 2 is 29. Over 3. We got to change that to 29 over 3. Can we add them? No, because the denominators are different, so we have to find a common denominator. So let's do the 3 and 7 multiples of 3. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21. 7, 14, 21. Here is your common multiple that you're going to use. So 7 times 1, 2, 3 is 21. So I multiply the top by 3 and I get 51. 3 times what is 21? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And on top, I multiply it by 7. And that's going to give me 3, 6, 21, 14, 20. 203. So now we can add, right? So negative plus a positive. Right? There's more positives, right? They're not friends. So we're going to put a 21 over here. We're going to subtract, and we're going to get negative. Sorry, not negative. Negative 51 and 203. Subtract. Borrow. 10 minus 5 is 4. So the final answer is I have to borrow. Sorry, my mistake. So 3 minus 1 is 2. Now I have to borrow. That becomes a 1. That becomes a 10. 10 minus 5 is 5 and 1. So it's 152 over 21. We can simplify this, right? So we're going to divide 152 over 21. 21 does not go into 1. 21 does not go into 15. 21 goes into 52. I'm going to say 6 times. 6 times 3 is 6. 6 times 1 is 6. 6 times 2 is 12. 12 minus 6 is 6. 36 left over. Okay? So, right, it's not 6, it's 7. Sorry, 7 times 1 is 7. 7 times 2 is 14. If you subtract, 5 left over. So final answer, 21 can go into 152 7 times. 5 left over 21. Okay? And that's that.